You guys, okay. Yesterday we talked about James O'Keefe and this big expose with that dude. What was his name? John Bryan, something like that. Yeah. Some royal connected person who basically was caught on camera or undercover camera by the O'Keefe team saying, yes, it's for sure legit that Prince Andrew boinked underage girls. It's like not that anybody didn't already know that.
Surprise!
But that was like a level, I guess, of extra verification, whatever.
Right.
And then we played the clip of Alex Jones saying, ooh, Pam Bondi is totally in on this. Like there's some kind of Pam Bondi connection and the White House knows about it. And that's going to be part of the expose. And then it wasn't. And we were just like, what is Alex Jones talking about? Well, apparently what he was talking about was the clip that you're about to see, which was another James O'Keefe's expose thing that I feel like is just so
lame. It's lame. It's lame.
But you guys, maybe your mileage will vary.
Totally.
Here it is, and you can decide for yourself.
Yesterday, Attorney General of the United States Pam Bondi was at the White House and disclosed what she represented as brand new information in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. The existence of tens of thousands of videos featuring little children.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly acknowledged that videos of Epstein and his victims exist. What you may not know is just 9 days prior, the Attorney General had a very similar conversation with a total stranger in a restaurant.
Do you know when the Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. The FBI's been...
Okay.
So...
Any dates?
No, you know what it is? There are tens and thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids, so they have to go through every one.
In the past, officials have spoken about the, quote, mountain of evidence in the Epstein case, but they've never, previous to that moment, acknowledged on the existence of videos of, quote, little kids. Just a few days later, at 2 p.m. on May 1st, our reporter sent the AG's office the text of the recording. We asked why this detail had not been disclosed to the public, but was instead being told to a random stranger at a restaurant. The Attorney General used almost the exact same language as she did with the stranger in the restaurant, language that we shared with her press office. Now, we hesitated to publish this story, but believe, like we did yesterday, that the public has a right to know.
I don't see what the big, I don't, so you're gonna have to explain to me why this is.
Okay, he is trying to make it sound as though this random stranger got like up on news 9 days earlier than the rest of us, that there were videos, that there was video evidence of Epstein being with kids. I have long thought we already knew that there was video evidence. We just hadn't seen it. I don't want to see it. Okay. I just want the right people to see it so that the right people get put in jail.
And the right people are looking. The right people are looking at it. They're sifting through it, right? So I don't. Yeah. So what's news breaking here? I don't understand. Like what? This is the thing. What earth-shattering thing did he get out of this? Because I'm just not seeing it.
Okay, good. Because I was
not
like,
seeing it.
Why am I not seeing the breathless? No. Like outrage. I just don't know why this is a big deal.
Because he's like the language. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's Friday and I'm kind of over it. But okay, you guys, you know what makes me less over it? Blackout Coffee. Do you guys have your Blackout Coffee? You need to start your morning with Blackout Coffee. It's the best. And you can visit blackoutcoffee.com/chicks. Use code chicks. Get 20% off your first order. Mock likes the flavors. I'm a purist, but you should try it. You definitely should. Definitely do that. Also, you can check us out on all of our socials, all of our places at www.chicksontheright.com/links. And if you haven't, please support us. I implore you to support us by subscribing. Click the little subscribe button. That is how you can subscribe us. It's one of the many ways, but it is a good way to do that. So please do that. And you guys, we interviewed Carl Higbie yesterday.
From Newsmax.
Yes. Hopefully you guys know who that is. But he is really a great guy. It was a wonderful interview and it's going to be coming out tomorrow. So make sure that you're on the lookout for that this weekend. Okay.
That was fun.
Super funny. Such a great guy. So much fun.
Yeah, that was fun times. Fun times. All right. I guess one of the big stories of yesterday was the Pope. I mean, it's still like all the rage this morning on the news. And there were some pretty neat things about getting a new Pope. So we'll kind of get into that because when we first saw the white smoke, which of course everybody was gathered around Sistine Chapel to, in Vatican City to wait for the smoke. They wanted to see the white smoke. And finally, when it appeared, people absolutely erupted. And it was kind of cool that there are so many young people that seem to be like re-engaged with religion. I thought that was kind of neat.
Oh, that I'm pretty excited about. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it seems to be like just a huge level of excitement. Here is what was going on Fox when the white smoke came out.
This just in.
What?
We have white smoke coming out of the Sistine Chapel. This means that we have a new pope. It is the third vote that's been taken. This is quite frequent timing. This is day 2 of the new pope. We've been waiting for this vote, white smoke. Any moment, we'll see if this pope comes from the conservative wing of the party, the progressive wing, or is one of those consensus candidates.
It's the first American
Pope. Yep. And that is not something that most people ever expected would happen. Because I think generally other countries typically think, well, America has too much power. They're too big already. They don't get to also be the leader of the Catholic Church.
Right.
And so this was a little bit of a surprise, but it's Robert Prevost. He's from Chicago. He went to Villanova. And he's got a couple of brothers who've been making the rounds doing interviews on TV, which has been kind of neat to watch. Just like his brothers are so regular and talking about him like he's so regular because he is regular. You know what I mean? Like he's just a dude that now all of a sudden
is the Pope.
Could
you imagine if like your sibling became Pope? You'd be like, what? Like it's hard? You'd be giving him crap at Christmas, you know? You're the Pope,
just
man.
Wild, man. It is wild.
And you'd be telling your brothers they can't do certain things and they can't be mean to you anymore because you're the Pope now.
Yeah. That. Yeah. He can get on them. But the video when he first emerged on the balcony was pretty wild because they do get a close-up of his face. And I just cannot imagine what that is like because keep in mind, he finds out that he's going to be Pope like an hour before he appears on the balcony to the world.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's had a whole bunch of time to process this. You know what I mean? And you can see that on his face in this video. It's just wild to think about what's going through his head.
And here he is.
There he is, Cardinal.
And the applause going up, the greeting, the waving.
That's pretty cool.
Big smiles. How amazing.
How amazing.
And Dr. Liz Love was also talking about the symbolism of the red that he's wearing. It is a sacrificial role, and that is the symbol of the cloth that he's wearing right now.
I cannot imagine.
And we see this beautiful close-up view from the side there.
The humility in that, you know.
At the same level as the Loggia. Pope Leo XIV.
Pope Leo XIV.
Amazing. Smiling.
Smiling
and
Pope, yeah.
You can see who wouldn't be taken by the moment. And,
it's like he's emotional, very emotional.
You know, the weight of this responsibility.
Yes, the weight of responsibility.
Yep.
You want to read what Trump said?
Yep. Congratulations to Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost. Is it Prevost? Prevost, who was just named Pope. It is such an honor to realize that he is the first American Pope. What excitement and what a great honor for our country. I look forward to meeting Pope Leo, what is that, 14th? 14th. It will be, I'm sorry, Roman numerals. It'll be a very meaningful moment. Yeah, it's really cool. It is really, I hope that, my hope with this Pope, my hope with the Pope is that he will bring people into the faith. It's always my hope, right? I just hope that I know there's obviously a lot of weight in that position, but that's always my hope. I just want people to be closer to Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's
I
her
hope he does
Pope,
that.
you guys. It's her
That's my Pope. It's my Pope. Hashtag Pope.
I know we just mentioned coffee, and I do love me some coffee, but there are just some days where I want something different. And this is what I'm drinking today. This is MUDWTR. We've talked about this before. This is like, if you have ever had chai, like a chai latte or chai tea or whatever, that's what it tastes like to me. But it's got all these amazing ingredients, the tiniest bit of caffeine, just the tiniest bit. So if you're a person that doesn't do well with coffee, like maybe you get jitters or whatever, and it's just a little too much for you.
Or some people can't have it. They can't have caffeine.
Right. This has a tiny bit because it's got like the cocoa, but it also has other ingredients in it that are energy boosting. So you do get a nice boost from it. Yeah, that's a great word for it. It's a great lift. Without necessarily getting the jitters. So here's some of the stuff that's in it. Cacao chai for a hint of caffeine and hot chocolate-like flavor, which that's true. It's like, it is very like chai / chocolate. It also has lion's mane for focus, cordyceps for natural energy, and chaga and reishi to support a healthy immune system. So I always feel like super healthy when I drink it. I don't know if I'm diluting myself.
It's good mixed with milk, like milk or almond milk or whatever kind of milk. It's good with that. It's like
you can make a latte from this, which is super good. Like you just take a tablespoon of it and then you put it in your cup. Then you add a little bit of creamer and then some milk, and then you like use
froth.
This is the thing too. If you get a starter pack, you get one of these amazing frothers, and so like it's rechargeable. See that?
It's pretty. They're awesome. I know. I use it all the time for everything.
It's the greatest thing ever. This comes with the starter pack, which, by the way, if you visit MUDWTR, it's MUDWTR.com. They only like the one vowel, you guys.
They don't like vowels. They're anti-vowels.
They just like the U. They like there's just the one vowel. So it's MUDWTR.com. You can get your starter kit. When you use code CHICKS, you're going to get up to 43% off, including free shipping. And then, of course, including that rechargeable frother, which is really cool. MUDWTR, MUDWTR.com. It's delicious. I love it. Love it. All right, back to the Pope, because we have some, people are like, what is he going to be like Francis? Is he going to be kind of, a lefty? Like,
is he going to be a commie? Is he going to be a commie? That's what people want to know.
Exactly. And so people were like trolling through and looking at his Twitter feed and saw this from back in February, where he kind of wrist slapped JD a little bit, saying JD Vance is wrong. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others, because JD had talked in an interview about, putting family first and then extending out from there, which I thought made all kinds of sense, actually. But this new Pope called him out, essentially. And so that raised some eyebrows. But then, there were other people that were super excited about this on the conservative side, saying, listen, there's some really, really great things about Pope Leo. For example, even though he has shared pro-immigration posts, he also opposes the promotion of gender ideology. He has called out the mainstream media for fostering, quote, sympathy for beliefs and practices that are at odds with the gospel. He has called out the homosexual lifestyle and alternative families. So, I mean, he does seem to have some more moderated.
You mean
beliefs.
some more Catholic beliefs? That would be a start. I mean, something he could do as a Catholic Pope. I don't know.
I mean, so I know a lot of people are worried that he's going to be super lefty, but I liked this tweet from Michael Knowles, who was responding to Beards and Beardly, who said Pope Leo is more conservative than most of the MAGA influencers criticizing him. And Michael said, this is the part that non-Catholics sometimes miss. The left-right political paradigm does not map neatly onto an institution that predates it by 1,800 years. The most liberal Catholic prelate is substantially to the right of most conservative Republicans on most issues. So maybe people just need to
give him some grace.
Yeah, be a little more optimistic about this Pope,
Right.
Like, let's just see, right? Like, let's see what happens.
Or you can just read your Bible. You could just do that. You could just have a relationship with Jesus and read your Bible. That's just me, though.
I mean, my mom's Catholic, so obviously I texted her immediately
Right.
and I was like, what are your thoughts on this Pope? And I
What'd she
said, you
say?
know, if it was going to be the first American Pope, I would have preferred Cardinal Dolan. And she absolutely agreed with that and just simply said, I don't know anything about this one. I'll have to look into it. So she's kind of withholding judgment for now.
Yeah. And he's pretty young too. So he's going to be there he's going to be there a while.
Mm-hmm. He is indeed.
I guess we'll find out.
That's right.
Mhm.
We just got to have some Pope, you guys. We just have to have some Pope. That's all.
Pope. That's right.
Naturally, the comedians were out in full force because anytime there's an event of this magnitude, people are going to people about it. People are going to joke about it. And one of those people was Jimmy Fallon, who said, don't get too excited about the white smoke coming out of the Sistine Chapel. They still have to count the mail-in ballots.
I love it. So great. So
Buck
great.
Sexton also getting in on a little bit of the fun, saying, yes, there's white smoke from the Vatican, but how long before a Biden-appointed judge reverses the conclave's decision?
So true. So true.
Let's see. There was another one that made me giggle. From who? Who is it from? Nightmare Vision. Breaking.
Smoke coming out of the
shoot.
system.
I'm sorry, you guys. The next
Breaking.
one said breaking. Several hundred new papal ballots were just discovered in Maricopa County.
It's always in Maricopa County. Crazy people.
Also, question: why is it papal and not popal?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a great question. Catholics? Anything?
Yeah, I need to know that because
Should
I
be
know they
popal.
also call it like the papacy, but why is it not the papacy?
Yeah, and why is he not called the Pape? He should be
Right.
called the Pape if it's papal.
Why
Doesn't
is
make
there
any
no
sense.
consistency there?
Yeah, exactly. What's going on? We want to know.
I don't understand that. Anyway,
Hashtag Pay Pope. Pay Pope.
also one of
Whoa.
our favorite fast food restaurants got in on the fun, and so Popeyes said, "Pope, yes."
That is my favorite. That's it. I'm out. I'm done with the internet for the day. That's it. Oh my gosh, that's so great.
Isn't that the greatest?
Whoever runs their internet, who runs their Twitter, I need to be friends with them immediately. It's so fantastic.
It was absolutely perfect. And then
Yes.
this, I died. when I saw this. I just can't. I can't, you guys. I cannot.
It's so great. It's just the greatest.
I mean,
Oh God,
this is
people.
the internet, you guys. This is
I
why you
love
can't
people.
ever delete it.
I know we get mad at it, but at the same time, then there's this, and then it's like, oh, I'm
Right.
sucked back in. There's Snoop. There's Snoop, you guys. Suck back in.
So remember yesterday when we were talking about how we were so hopeful that all the hype about the big giant announcement that Trump teased earlier in the week, we were hoping that it was not just going to be like, I don't know, a trade deal, for
Yeah.
example.
The UK trade deal.
And that's exactly what it was.
That's what it is.
So, I mean, yeah, it's a big deal, but like, is it the biggest announcement that's ever been made in the history of the
No.
world?
No,
I
it's
don't know.
tremendous and huge and covered in gold. That's what it is, you guys.
Right. So Scott Jennings tweeted about Trump's statement about the trade agreement with the UK, saying, LOL, I was assured on TV 2 nights ago that the UK was forming alliances to oppose the United States. And so could you read Donald Trump's announcement,
Yes.
please?
The agreement with the United Kingdom is a full and comprehensive one that will cement the relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom for many years to come. Because of our long-time history and allegiance together, it is a great honor to have the United Kingdom as our first announcement. Many other deals, which are in serious stages of negotiation, to follow.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you to this matter.
To this matter.
Uh-huh.
So then, you know, there was obviously a big presser about it, and he held like a big news conference about it. And we started to find out some more of the details, which we'll get into in a second. But interestingly enough, the very night before, so not last night, but the night before,
Mhm.
Jen Psaki was totally bitching on her program about how there's no trade deals yet. And now she sounds like such a complete card. So here's what she said the night before.
So it's been more than a month, if you can believe it, since Donald Trump announced his sweeping and pretty ridiculous tariffs. But Mr. Art of the Deal, as he calls himself, has not yet struck a single trade deal. Not a single one with any single country.
He signed.
Oh, Jen, you may want to retract that.
Rewind.
Toothpaste is out of the tube there, Peppermint Patty.
I mean, seriously, you can't give him just a tiny bit of time.
No. They're like,
it's
it's
been 100
days. Everything has to be sold. It's been 100 days. Shut up.
I mean, it's just so ridiculous because most of these agreements usually take years to get through.
Yeah.
Years.
And for a lot of the presidents, it never happens.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So along with the announcement about the UK trade deal, Trump threw this little nugget into the mix. There was also a deal finalized with Ukraine.
A tremendous trade deal for both countries. So I'm going to begin by just adding that we just concluded the rare earth deal with Ukraine. That's been fully ratified and approved by their legislative branches. And so we appreciate that. And I'll be speaking with the president in a little while, a little bit later. And we appreciate that. But the deal is all now signed up and ratified. And we have access to a massive amount of very, very high quality rare earth.
So that's exciting.
I love a rare earth. I love it.
Rare earth. So here's some of the details about the deal. $6 billion in new tariff revenue coming at us. U.S. tariffs on imports from the UK raised to 10%. UK tariffs on imports from us lowered to 1.8%. $5 billion in new exports from the United States. And there was another, I think we have another. Yes, the UK will reduce a whole bunch of barriers that apparently discriminated against our products. There's going to be more market access for our exports, especially ag, beef, and ethanol. There's going to be new access for our machinery and chemicals. There's going to be, we're bringing the UK into an economic security alignment. We're ensuring strong industrial base protections for steel and reciprocity and fairness. So, I mean, it seems like a pretty good deal. I just don't know if it was like the giant earth shattering announcement.
Pretty good deal. I'm just waiting for Jen Psaki to complain about it.
Oh, there's complaints. Oh, there's definitely
there's complaints. Of course there are.
Yeah. I mean, it's predictable as the sun rising, right?
Yep.
But you know what there's never complaints about, and that is food from omahasteaks.com/smash.
Oh God, smash burgers, you guys. Oh my God.
You guys, how mouth-watering does this photograph look?
I want it right now.
So this is the thing. You guys know, I mean, Mother's Day is obviously this weekend, but Father's Day is coming.
Right around the corner.
Okay.
Right there.
We are right there on the edge of Father's Day. And they have this new pack. Let me see what the name of it is because I keep forgetting. It's Built for the Grill. It's the Built for the Grill pack. And with it, I mean, you get like so much yummy stuff with it, like all of your favorites. But with the pack, you also get these brand new smash burgers. You get 16 of them. 16 of them, you guys. So here's the list of all the stuff. So you get the filet mignons, which are amazing.
So good.
You get the top sirloins. You get the boneless chicken breasts. You get filet mignon burgers. You get the jumbo franks, the caramel apple tartlets, which are a slam dunk.
You can have for breakfast. Oh my God.
Yeah. And it only takes a minute in the microwave. They're quick and easy. And then, of course, you get their famous Omaha Steak seasoning. But then on top of that, you get 16 smash burgers in this Built for the Grill pack. So if you want to get in on this action, visit omahasteaks.com/smash. Okay, /smash.
God,
and then you'll get the 16 free smash burgers. This is a slam dunk gift for Father's Day.
It really is. Yeah. All dudes love meat, as do the people that live with them.
That's exactly right. I love when my husband prepares Omaha Steaks food. I love it.
Right.
omahasteaks.com/smash. All right. Let's get back into what's going on with this trade deal because it was so funny to watch the coverage after, and actually not even after, but in advance of it being announced. So people got wind of the fact that, yes, the announcement was going to be this trade deal. And it was like it's almost seemed, maybe I just read more into this than there actually was. But tell me if you think that in this clip from MSNBC, they seem genuinely sad to have to report good news for Trump and the United States. Because that's what it seems like to me. And again, I could just be.
But this is going to be a political win for the White House, Mika. We've already, President Trump up very early this morning, posting around 5:30 in the morning. We've heard from him a couple times already today about this. They're going to have an event at 10 o'clock. He's going to hold a news conference along with it. This is going to be something that they recognize. White House aides have told me for a while. It's been turbulent since so-called Liberation Day. They've seen the markets bounce back some, but there's a lot of economic worries. They needed to start delivering deals. This is the first.
This is relative.
Mika and Joe are like, oh, crap.
It just seems like they're disappointed.
They are disappointed. Yeah, they don't want America to win. They want Trump to lose. They want us to lose. Of course they're disappointed. These people are delusional. They're lunatics.
Well, I guess that's at least better than one of their, I forget this guy's name. He's that slime ball that's always on MSNBC. I mean, them being sad and having to report it glumly is at least better than this guy completely downplaying it.
Low-hanging fruit. If you can't get a trade deal with the longest standing and loyalist United States ally anywhere in the world over generations, you're going to be in trouble when you're dealing with some of the more obstreperous countries around the world, or ones that are more willing to resist your entreaties. And those, to Steve's point, those big three are still out there.
Yeah, let's see you do it.
Right. Well, exactly. That's why I love this tweet about it. And it said an MSNBC analyst claims a trade deal with the UK is relatively low-hanging fruit. Then why didn't Biden do it?
Exactly. God, these people are unreal. It just never ceases to amaze me how they downplay everything and they just poo-poo on wins. I mean, you couldn't do it. And he's like,
exactly.
Like it's hard. This is basically what he's saying. Yeah, it is hard. That's why we put Trump into office, to do this stuff, because he's a businessman and he knows how to do it. And the other schleps that have been in office don't know how to do it. It's give respect where respect is due. He knows how to do this stuff. Like, how hard is it to go, yeah, this is a win.
Apparently it's very, very hard. It makes them sick to their stomachs to have to report anything positive about Trump and his agenda. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, as a result of this trade deal and the ones that are expected to be announced forthcoming, Trump is very, very bullish on the stock market, and he is encouraging everybody to get in if you can. Here he is again from yesterday.
This country will hit a point that you better go out and buy stock now. Let me tell you, this country will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before.
I believe him. I absolutely believe him.
Numbers nobody's ever seen before. That would be huge.
I hope so. It'd be tremendous and huge and covered in gold. And I hope so. I do. I mean, I hope that for me and my family, and I hope it for all of your families. I hope that that's the case. I believe him. I have to believe him because I'm hopeful. Why would you not want that to be the case? Yeah.
I absolutely want it to be the case without question.
Right.
And also, a presser with Trump wouldn't be a presser with Trump unless he just did some good old-fashioned Trump snark. And in this case, he temporarily directed his ire at Pete Buttigieg, as he called him. And here's what he said.
Love it so much. And when they took over, Buttigieg, who has no clue, he drives to work on his bicycle with his, in all fairness, with his husband on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship. But he didn't have a clue. This guy didn't have a clue. And he's actually a contender for president. Between him and Crockett, you can have that party.
Even Scott Bessent was laughing at that.
How could you not, right?
He was like, that's funny. Because my husband doesn't ride on the back of my bike. He doesn't. He drives his own car.
Oh my God. I just love that. I loved it.
But neither one of us chest feeds. Those dudes do. Why are you gay?
Oh my God. I can't get enough of that. Cannot get enough. I was unfamiliar with this Fox person until this morning, but there is a beautiful girl by the name of Cameron Kinsey who had a medical incident on one of the Fox shows yesterday. She just flat out passed out in the middle of a report. And I forget the little British dude who is the Fox host who was hosting her, like he was interviewing her, and people are super criticizing his reaction, which I tend to give people grace in situations like this when you're not expected, you're kind of in shock and you don't know what to do. People are mad at him because he did not immediately rush to help her. He instead said, we're going to get her some help. And I guess we're going to go to commercial. Like, he's in the middle of hosting a show. And I know, we know what that feels like. So that's right. I do give him a little bit of grace, but people are mad at him. Here's what happened.
Ideology, or it's not about.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. We're just going to get some help here for Cameron. Let me come back to Lydia while we get some help for Cameron here. Lydia, the President, we're going to go to a break right here. We'll be right back.
That's a little unnerving. I'm a little irritated by that too. I'm not going to lie. I mean, his first instinct was the show must go on.
Right.
I would have.
Oh God, I hate it for everybody. I just hate it.
I hate it. I hate it for everybody too. But I hope that my first instinct would be to help her. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope that would be what I would do.
And we didn't see, like, it could be that someone immediately rushed over to her.
Right.
It seemed like he was moving in her direction and then saw somebody coming and then immediately was like, I got to get back on camera. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if people.
Somebody asked what he
was
really
hard on
give
him.
her CPR, obviously.
Well, and I don't know, like, all I saw about the story this morning is that they ended up saying she was fine, that she was being tended to by paramedics, but I haven't heard anything
like what happened?
Definitive. Like what happened exactly. I don't know.
Yeah, because that was just God bless her. And that happened on camera. Like that, I mean, I know you can relate to that. You can totally relate. Like, it's just not something you want to go through. God bless her.
I know. I don't know.
I hope she's okay.
Well, I mean, they said she was, but I looked at her Twitter feed this morning and I haven't seen anything. So
I'm sure she'll come out.
A lot of people are like, vaccine? Did she have a vaccine? I know people always, their heads go right there.
Right to the vaccine. Maybe I'm sure she'll come out with a statement. She's going to have to, she will. People want to know if she's okay. Right.
Surely. So that was something.
Barbara thinks she's pregnant.
Oh, maybe she is. Well, that would be a really lovely reason for her to pass out.
That would be a lovely reason for her to pass out, wouldn't it? That would be the best reason ever for her to pass out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with that.
Right. Let's go with it. Let's go with it.
How are your glasses this morning?
These are my best. These are my absolute best ones.
Okay. All right. Because we've got two big, long Trump
tweets. Oh my gosh. Here we go.
Announcements that you're going to need to get through. Here is the first one.
Okay. I am pleased to announce that Judge Jeanine Pirro will be appointed interim United States Attorney for the District of Columbia. Jeanine was Assistant District Attorney for Westchester County, New York, and then went on to serve as County Judge and District Attorney, where she was the first woman ever to be elected to those positions. During her time in office, Jeanine was a powerful crusader for victims of crime. Her establishment of the Domestic Violence Bureau in her prosecutor's office was the first in the nation. She excelled in all ways. In addition to her legal career, Jeanine previously hosted her own Fox News show, Justice with Judge Jeanine, for 10 years, and is currently co-host of The Five, one of the highest rated shows on television. Jeanine is incredibly well qualified for this position and is considered one of the top district attorneys in the history of the state of New York. She is in a class by herself. Congratulations, Jeanine. I'm sorry, Coda wanted to weigh in on that. He would like to show me his stick. He just wants everybody to see his. Do you want me to take your stick?
You got your candy cane.
He has a candy cane, you guys. You want a bat? Everybody wants. Listen, everybody says you got to go, buddy. You got to go. You're not part of the show. No, it's not time to play with your bone. Can you please go? I'm doing a show. Mommy's doing a show. Please. He's knocking over my coffee cup and everything. Sorry, guys. Coda says hello.
I don't know what it is. It looks like it's like a candy cigar. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I need you to see this.
He's pushing me over too. I'm sorry.
I need you to see this.
Never. Please go away. Please go away. Please go away, honey. Please. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. It is the Coda show. I'm sorry. Anyways, Judge Jeanine. Back to Judge Jeanine.
Right.
This is a professional show, you guys. It's professional.
I mean, it does kind of seem like Fox is the training ground for like important cabinet appointees,
or at least a place for recruitment. You know, it's like there are a lot of people recruited from Fox. It is becoming apparent that is the case. I'm not saying she's not qualified. I think she's highly
oh my
qualified.
God, I love watching the liberals' heads explode over this.
I love her. I absolutely love her. So, I mean, I think this is fine. It's just that you're right. I think a lot of it gives fodder to people on the left to say, "Oh my God, he's picking people from Fox." You know.
Yeah, but I also like that she's going to be the district attorney in DC.
Yes.
And people have to be hating that and worried about it. And I kind of
she's a ball buster.
Oh yeah, she is.
She will bust the balls. And I love that. I love it.
There was another announcement from Trump, and you're gonna have to read that as soon as the screen switch.
Here
there
we go.
It is.
You ready, Coda? Talks with Russia, Ukraine continue. The U.S. calls for, ideally, a 30-day unconditional ceasefire. Hopefully, an acceptable ceasefire will be observed, and both countries will be held accountable for respecting the sanctity of these direct negotiations. If the ceasefire is not respected, the U.S. and its partners will impose further sanctions. Thousands of young soldiers are dying on a weekly basis, and everybody should want it to stop. I do. And the United States of America does also. As president, I will stay committed to securing peace between Russia and Ukraine, together with the Europeans, and a lasting peace it will be. This ceasefire must ultimately build toward a peace agreement. It can all be done very quickly, and I will be available on a moment's notice if my services are needed. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I love his transparency, Mock. I love it. I love that we get these tweets. I love that
that we get the updates for sure.
Yeah, he's constantly telling us what's going on. These are honest, forthright tweets. I mean, he's telling us what's on his mind, what's on his heart, what he's doing. I mean, I love that. I absolutely love it.
It's good stuff.
It is.
Unfortunately, what is happening, what will happen, it'll continue to happen, is it on the left? People will be like, he said he could end this war in 24 hours. He said it over and over again. So obviously that's not the case. His involvement is crucial, but it's not getting things to a place where they need to be. And so Martha McCallum, the reason for my name today, had JD Vance on yesterday to talk about that and many other things. And here's JD's update on Russia and Ukraine.
And if we wanted to take advice from anybody.
Actually, let me just quickly say he is responding in this first little bit to the fact that Joe Biden on The View, and we'll get to that in a little while, but Joe Biden on The View criticized the meeting that Trump had with Zelensky in the Oval. He said it was just like unbecoming of America or whatever.
Right.
And so Martha was asking JD about that, and that's what he's responding to here.
On foreign policy, especially foreign policy in Europe, it would not be Joe Biden. So I wish Joe Biden the best. I don't really care what he has to say about American foreign policy because so much of what he actually did was a total disaster. If we just did the opposite of what Joe Biden did, I think we'd have one of the most successful foreign policy administrations in a very long time. So he can spend his time on the beach or doing whatever Joe Biden does. We'll continue trying to fix the problems that he created.
Preach.
Right?
Yes.
The way that he did that. Oh my God.
Oh my God. I know we're going to get to it, but just take all the seeds, dude.
Literally every last one.
Oh my God. Why is he talking? Why?
Oh my God. It's so
bad.
So bad. Cannot wait to show you guys those clips. If you did not see The View, which I hope you didn't, because nobody should be watching that show as a matter of the course of their day. Joe Biden, the only place that he should be right now is in bed. And hopefully he has some MyPillow sheets on his bed because they are the bomb. Right now at mypillow.com/chicks, they have got a massive closeout sale on their Percale bed sheets. So these are the ones that really are nice and cool. I don't know how to describe the check. They're like smooth and
they're summery. They're good for summer.
Yeah, I mean, they're good all season. I mean, for all
Right.
seasons, but particularly in the summer, they just feel nice and crisp.
Mhm.
That's the best way that I would describe them. So literally any size. It doesn't matter if you have a California King, whatever size sheets you need, they are $25, you guys, for the whole set.
Yeah, it's really good time to stock up.
$25.
Mhm.
So this is the time. Now they have, and this is for any color, this is for any size, but they are running out. So
It's a
if you
good
need
wedding
your
gift.
piece-
People, this is
Ooh,
wedding
yeah.
season too. Really good wedding gift. I
Or
think so.
graduation.
Totally.
I mean, you know,
Yeah. Kids going off to,
graduating from college, they
and then kids
need
going
this,
off
you
to
guys.
college in the fall. Like stock up now. It's really, a good time to buy
For
stuff.
real.
Mhm.
So it's mypillow.com/chicks. And then of course the code is chicks to get even more discounts. mypillow.com/chicks. So apparently remember how the media always wanted to create a rift between Donald Trump and Elon Musk? They were
Yes.
constantly wanting to make it look like they were
Mhm.
fighting and couldn't get along. They're
Yep.
now trying to do that with JD Vance and Marco Rubio. So they're trying to create a rivalry where none exists. And so there was an article about that Martha McCallum asked JD to respond to, and here is what that looked like.
It's progress that they're even talking at all.
Oh, sorry, you guys. There was more to the whole Ukraine thing. I'll let him finish his thoughts on that before we get to the Marco part.
Ukrainians. I think it's progress that they're putting concrete peace plans on the table. But we knew that the Russians' first offer would be too much. We knew that they would ask for more than was reasonable to give. That's how negotiations often work. I'm not bothered by that. What would bother me is if we conclude that the Russians are not engaging in the negotiation in good faith. And if that happens, yeah, we're going to walk away. The president's going to say we're out of this thing. And what that's going to mean fundamentally, I think, is that both Russia and Ukraine are going to be left to settle this thing without the advice and without the mediation of the United States. I don't think that's good for anybody. I don't think it's good for us. I don't think it's good for Russia or Ukraine. But we can only lead these guys to the well. We can't force them to drink.
So I'm sorry that I didn't play that when we were still talking about Russia, Ukraine, but that was really, really interesting, right? That he's like, if they don't come to some sort of agreement, we are walking away.
Totally. Yeah. He made that abundantly clear. She asked that in a couple different ways in that interview.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, we'll totally walk away. So,
which is, I mean, music to a lot of people's ears. That
Yeah.
They're sick and tired of funding this complete debacle.
yeah, totally. I wish we would just stop yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
All right. So now here is the Marco part.
Was asked who his successor should be, and he mentioned you. What a fantastic job you're doing, he said. And in the next breath, he mentioned Marco Rubio. So, of course, the latest headline is Trump stokes Vance-Rubio competition. Are you rivals with Marco Rubio?
Not at all. Look, Marco's actually probably my best friend in the administration. We hang out and talk all the time. He's doing a really good job. And of course, I'm doing the best job that I can. My attitude on this is, Martha, the president's not going to name a successor 110 days into his administration, nor should he. We have to do a good job for the American people. And if we do that, the politics will take care of themselves.
That's a great answer.
Isn't it?
It is a great answer. And I believe him. I think they probably are really great friends. You know, I love
They
that.
seem like they would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I say this a lot, but we have such great people on our side, such competent, able people, smart people, and they've got morons, you guys. I mean, their bench is so shallow. So that is just so reassuring to me. Very promising.
Yeah.
We should all
I
be
love
happy
that.
about that. Uh-huh.
And we've joked, everybody's joked really, about how many roles Marco Rubio has assumed lately.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh my
he's
God,
like
so many.
interim director of this and that. And he's also obviously the Secretary of State. I mean, he's been given a lot of roles.
Yep.
And he joked about that at an archives meeting. And here's what he said.
I joined the administration early on. They said, you know, one of the initiatives that we're pursuing is to increase efficiency in government. In essence, they want to be able to do more while, you know, spending less or putting less. And for example, they said one of the things we want you to look at is consolidation. Can you take, for example, what today are 4 jobs and just give them all to one person? And I said, that sounds like a great idea. We should do that all across the government. Little did I know they just meant me. But But it is an honor to be here tonight on behalf of the National Archives to speak to all of you. And so it's great to stand here. As I said, it's always flattering to receive an award and be recognized. You were Speaker, you were a member of the Senate, you were the chairman of this, you're now Secretary of State and the National Security Advisor and the acting archivist and the acting USAID director. So it's always great to, and the Surgeon General. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that. Nah. I wanted it. You get a uniform. Do you know you get a uniform if you're a Surgeon General? I wanted it, but they had given it away.
Look at him, the comedian.
I know, right?
Love it. I know. He is coming into his own. My gosh. He's so likable at this point. And so competent. You know what? But it does show that you can take these jobs and smush them. You can smush like 4 jobs into one. We have way too many positions in government. He's living proof that we can consolidate a lot of these positions and save a lot of damn money.
I can't even imagine what his days look like right now.
I'm sure they're crazy, but again, in the real world, that happens. There are people doing the, especially like when you own your own business, but maybe not especially. I think people that are in the corporate world too. We worked in the corporate world for, half a century collectively. And when you worked and you had different hats that you wore, depending on what your position was, but most of us did that. If you were in a whatever sort of a leadership role, you wore a gajillion different hats. I just feel like sometimes in government, they have these very distinct roles, and that's the only thing you do. You stay in your lane. And he's showing us that you don't have to do that. You can consolidate some of these roles, and we can save money.
Yes.
So there's
everybody
that.
likes that. Well, I mean, Democrats don't like that, but we like it.
We do.
Kash Patel was in a hearing at the Capitol yesterday, and naturally, any of the Democrats that asked him questions were obnoxious AF. But he knows how to give right back when he gets it. Oh, he does not stand for it. And it really is. I mean, watching him just get back at these folks is just awesome. The first little tangle he had, or that we're showing you anyway, is with Patty Murray. She's accusing him of weaponizing the FBI, and he was like, bitch, please.
It's
not
so
in so
great.
many words.
Oh my God. I wish you would have just said it.
But here's what he actually said.
Cases, 3,000 cases against violent.
Well, that's not my question. We know that you.
Well, you asked if I was weaponizing the FBI, and I am not. I'm giving you the hard, concrete examples of the men and women putting handcuffs on bad people, doing harm to our children and innocent Americans. I do not see weaponization.
You have placed on leave FBI employees responsible for the investigation of January 6th. That sounds political to me.
I have not placed anyone on leave who has not violated their ethical obligation or their oath to the Constitution.
So if they were investigating January 6th, you believe they were violating an ethical obligation?
Nope. I think the common theme here is you putting words in my mouth, and I'm not going to tolerate it, nor will the men and women of the FBI.
Well, you did place on leave an analyst responsible for investigating Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Is that politicization? Is that retribution?
No, not if she broke the law or the ethical guidelines. I don't know which case you're talking about, but that's the standard. And we will hold ourselves inwardly accountable, and we will not be strayed from our mission because people think we are politicizing the Bureau. If you want to talk about someone who was attacked by a weaponized Bureau, you're looking at him. And now he's the director of the FBI, and he's cleaning it up.
Well, I would just say to everyone who's listening that the FBI needs to be focused on its mission to keep the entire country safe. It should not be weaponized for partisan political gain.
Okay, Patty.
Did you hear that?
Pat.
Did you wait?
He said, we are. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, we do. I just want to make sure
We are.
everybody heard how
Yeah.
he said it. Because
We are.
beautiful.
We
We
are.
are.
Mhm.
God,
Yeah,
I love
we
that.
are. He's completely awesome. If you're gonna have a battle of wits with somebody, like you should at least have one single wit.
Did you see how surprised she was?
He's just Well,
she was like,
was she surprised?
oh, she could not believe he was talking to her that way. It was glorious.
I couldn't tell. She has such a dopey dog face. I couldn't see a lot of anything on her face.
Oh yeah, there was a mouth drop. Was
there? Okay,
There was a visible mouth drop.
The IQ is so low on that side collectively. It's so hard to.
Yeah.
It's so hard to watch that sometimes. Like I'm like, how do these people get into these positions? I don't get it.
Yeah,
It's kind of gross.
It is. But then there's Senator Kennedy, who makes everything better. And so he just sort of says what everybody's thinking out loud. And he was asking a totally legitimate question, but obviously one that Kash wasn't personally responsible for. And that was, why did we, the American taxpayers, end up having to pay Peter Strzok and Lisa Page gigantic payouts simply to settle a lawsuit that they filed because they were fired for interfering with the election? And so Kennedy is rightly mad, and I love him.
Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 to settle a lawsuit?
Senator, I do not know that settlement was reached in the prior administration.
Who made the decision?
The prior Department of Justice.
Who in the prior Department of Justice?
The settlement for that kind of case can only come from the Attorney General, which would be Attorney General Merrick Garland.
So the Attorney General decided to give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 after they were fired after actively interfering in the 2016 election. Is that right?
My understanding is that was a settlement they agreed to.
Pass me the sick bucket, please.
Yeah, of our money.
It's
our money.
The amount of rage that I have about
I
that.
know. I'm trying to control it. I can't. Think of that. 1.2 million. He got 1.2 million for interfering, for being a treasonous jackhole. He got paid. I mean, I'd love to have $1.2 million. Wouldn't you love to have that? Or 800,000? Wouldn't that be nice? For doing nothing but being a complete jackhole. It's just gross. These people are so gross.
There was also a moment that a lot of people are talking about. It was also with Senator Kennedy, because he asked him outright, did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself? And the answer to that question was a surprise coming from Kash to a lot of people.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Kash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant.
I don't know what to do with
that.
I don't know what to do with that. Like what information would be irrelevant? You know what I mean? I understand the protecting victims part. I really do. Because he had a lot of victims, and of course you want to protect victims. I get that. That's a noble thing to do. But like, what information is irrelevant? I don't get it. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, if they're looking at like basically every piece of information they have on Epstein from his entire collection of files, documents, pictures, probably there is a bunch of, probably a lot of it is irrelevant. But I mean, how long is it gonna freaking take?
And do you really think he hung himself? Do you think that? I don't think he did either. I don't think he hung himself.
Was he? So do you think he was just saying that to be like why would he say that then?
I think he was I think what he was saying was that's what the conclusion was, you know, from his case,
like
or whatever.
The official
conclusion. That was the official conclusion. I don't know if he was saying that's what I necessarily believe. I think he was saying that was the official conclusion. At least that's how I read it, but maybe I
don't know, because I mean, he asked him pretty direct. Do you think he hanged himself?
Do you, Kash Patel, believe that?
Right.
Right. Because if he would ask me that same question, I would have been like, no, I don't believe that.
Right.
So it's very interesting.
It is, right? So I don't exactly know. A lot of people are like, why is he saying that? Why isn't he just saying, oh, he was absolutely murdered and we're going to get to the bottom of it? I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. So
because I feel like before he got into that office, he would have said that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, that's why it's got a lot of people scratching their heads a little bit. So that's why we wanted to play it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to this disastrous appearance by Joe Biden and Jill Biden on The View. We're just going to sort of save the best for last and go in order, because when he first it was just him, and then Jill joined him later on. But when it was just him, Whoopi started out by basically asking how he was. I think that she was doing that in a way to say, like, how are you cognitively? But he did not answer it that way. And maybe I misread how she was asking it. Maybe she really was just like, how are ya? You know, like asking it generally.
Yeah.
But here is how that exchange went.
We are beyond happy to have you here for today for a lot of different reasons. But my question is, how are you? How you doing?
I'm well. The family's well, thank God. Things are moving along, and we're getting squared away, trying to figure out what the most significant and consequential role I can play consistent with what I've done in the past.
So the role that you played in the past was as a puppet for a cabal, for a group of people that literally used you as a puppet. So what, are you Jill's puppet now? I guess that's what you're going to do. If you're going to continue a role that's similar, that's what you're going to do. You're out of your gourd, man. He looks so old and out of his mind. Why would Jill allow him to be paraded around like this?
Well, she got asked about that too, and was very, very defensive, but we'll get to that. They also asked him about Kamala and why he thought she lost, whether he was surprised that she lost, and whether or not they still are in communication. And here is that part.
Why do you think the vice president lost, and were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised, not because I didn't think the vice president was the most qualified person to be president. She is. She's qualified to be president of the United States of America. But I was surprised. I wasn't surprised because they went the route of the sexist route, the whole route.
Oh my
this
God.
is a woman, she's this, she's that. I mean, it really, I've never seen quite as successful and a consistent campaign undercutting the notion that a woman couldn't lead the country, and a woman of mixed race. I talk to her frequently. We stay in touch, number one. Number two, she's sought my opinion. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
What to wear to the Met Gala.
That's exactly right. No, but all kidding aside, she's got a difficult decision to make about what she's going to do. I hope she stays fully engaged. I think she's first rate. But we have a lot of really good candidates as well. So
No, you don't.
I'm optimistic. I'm not pessimistic about the future.
You should be. Yeah. It's same old sexist and racist bullcrap.
Can you even? He was so delusional, like talking about how they were so successful. I mean, it did him no favors to be on that show at all.
They learned nothing. He is out of his mind, completely out of his mind.
Yeah. They asked him if he thinks that if he would have stayed in, would he have beaten Trump? And here's what he said.
Mr. President, you had previously said that you thought that you would have won. Since then, Donald Trump won all the battleground states and made inroads with almost every major demographic, from working class voters to Hispanic men to black men. Knowing what you know now, do you think you would have beat him?
Yeah, he's still got 7 million fewer votes. Yeah. They're very close in those toss-up states. It was it wasn't a slam dunk, and so put it this way, he's had the worst 100 days any president's ever had.
Oh my God, it's remarkable, isn't it? There are people in that audience that truly believe that too.
Oh my God,
I know, right? Yeah. And the women, the cows on that stage. Which is mean to cows, because I love cows. they believe that too. It's the worst 100 days, you guys. It's the worst 100 days. Really? I mean, the border is the most secure it's ever been. Not even credit for that.
Oh, no. In fact, there was blame for that. I think we
Right.
have that, a little clip
Mhm.
of that too coming up. But one of the things that I just could not believe is that Joy Behar is now trying to position Trump as being obsessed with Biden. And the only reason, like she went off talking about how, listen just to how many times he's mentioned you in the past 100 days. The only reason that there are a number of times that Trump has mentioned Biden is because Trump is always out there. He is always on camera. He's always talking to the press. He is always addressing questions about his presidency versus the last one. Always. It has nothing to do with being obsessed with Biden and everything to do with how transparent of a president he is.
Right.
But naturally, Joy doesn't see it that way. She just thinks he is like obsessed with him.
So, I've noticed that Trump can't stop talking about you. He's
Oh my-
obsessed with you.
I can't.
As of late April, he had mentioned you and your family and your administration at least 580 times. We're talking shrink land now, because when you're obsessed with somebody, you have to look in yourself and say, what is going on here? And at his Trump's cabinet meeting last week, your name was invoked 52 times, and he blamed you for the economic mess that his tariffs are causing. Why is he so fixated on you and blaming you for everything?
I beat him.
You didn't beat him. Oh my God, you didn't. Oh, this is the thing. You had to drop out, you old fool.
Well, I think he was talking about the other time, but
yeah, but I mean, like, he had to drop out the second time around, and then he got replaced by Kamala. So the fact that he actually has this sense of self-importance, and the reason, if Trump mentions him at all, it's because he has to undo all of the horrible things that he did to destroy the country. He's having to clean up his mess, and it is a giant effing mess.
Oh my God.
I mean, the lack of self-awareness and the gaslighting. I'm just so sick of the gaslighting. I'm just tired of it. I feel like we've just been gaslit for like 4 straight years, and it just continues with these people.
Yeah, every time that he makes an appearance on anything, he is convinced that he was too successful, almost that it was such a, he's still looking back on his presidency as a huge success.
Dude,
it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
He didn't even run the country. You were a puppet.
Yep.
You were told what to do. It's unreal.
And it wouldn't have been a Biden appearance without like at least 15 straight seconds of utter gibberish like this.
That all the projects, the benefits. How do you lead the world without having the best infrastructure in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best healthcare in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best education system in the world? How do you lead the world when you don't have that done?
Did you understand
none of
word of that?
Yeah, the Adderall was wearing off. Because you know that he was just jacked full of drugs when he went into that interview. How much Adderall does it take to get that guy on a stage? And it was wearing off. That had to have been at the end of the interview. And they were like, cut.
No, because that's before Jill was there.
Oh my God.
That was about midway through. Yeah, that was yikes.
Seriously, though, think of how much they have to do to get him prepared to speak in front of people. Wow.
Yeah, it's bad. They also, Alyssa Farah probably was asking the toughest of the questions, and she asked, does he take any responsibility for the fact that Trump ended up winning? And did he recognize that Trump has basically secured the border?
Right.
So this is a dual answer that you're about to hear, but the border part is where I was just like, are you freaking kidding me?
Take any responsibility for Trump's reelection?
Yes, I do, because look, I was in charge and he won. So, I take responsibility, number one. But number two, you remember, we put together a commission leading with one of the most conservative members of the United States Senate from Oklahoma running it. We came up with a significant means by which we could deal with the border. What did Trump do? He got on the telephone and he called Republicans, do not support it. It's legal, it'll work, it'll make Biden look good, don't do it. And they backed off. They backed off.
It's because it wasn't a border bill, remember? It was like full of crap. I know, right?
And has no one told him that the border is perfectly now sealed and shut and closed and safe?
Shh, Blondie.
What the hell? Oh my God.
They don't care because they don't live near the border. These women, they don't care. They live in gated communities. They live in gajillion-dollar houses. They don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. They don't. They never have. They never will.
I mean, a great follow-up would have been like, you do realize that it is now secure without any Congress action.
Do you think that you think Alyssa Farah is going to have a follow-up? Seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
She's
My
the
God.
token conservative on that panel.
Well,
of
don't forget Ana
cows.
Navarro, who is a Republican.
Republican. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So then Jill came. And this was when things went off the rails, because when Jill came, they asked about all of these reports and all these books that are being written by Jake Tapper and whoever else, saying there was some serious cognitive decline going on that ended up not getting reported or possibly even covered up. What do you have to say for that? Joe Biden proceeds to answer in a completely cognitively declined way, a way that made no sense. But the worst part is that Jill had to come to his rescue and then ended up proving how declined he has become because he couldn't even answer the question. And she doesn't even realize it, you guys. She doesn't even realize she's doing it. But here is that.
Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out, deeply sourced from Democratic sources, that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities. In the final year of your presidency, what is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that. Number one. Number two, you know, think of what we were left with. We were left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started. Not census.
Look at her face.
We had a circumstance where we were in a position that we. The pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying, 1 million people dying. And we're also in a situation where we found ourselves unable to deal with a lot of just basic issues, and which I won't go into in the interest of time. And so we went to work, and we got it done.
Go, Jill. Go, Jill.
You know, one of the things that well,
and Alyssa, you know, one of the things I think is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us. And they didn't see how hard Joe worked every single day.
Because he was hidden.
He'd get up, he'd put in a full day, and then at night I'd be in bed, you know, reading my book, and he was still on the phone, reading his briefings, working with staff. I mean, it was nonstop. It's the White House, being president is not like a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a life that you live. You live it 24 hours a day. That phone can ring at 11 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning. It's constant. You never leave it. And Joe worked really hard. I think he was a great president. And if you look at things today, if you look at things today, give me Joe Biden anytime.
Oh my God.
Invitation to come to the show.
Horrifying.
That is, oh my God, she had to save his ass.
Right. Like, what was he even? He was talking about an insurrection and COVID in response to a question about books being written about his brain.
Yes, I know. She had to save his ass. Wow. If that doesn't tell you everything, I can't help you.
I mean,
I
how
know.
can anybody at this point, after watching that, still say, "Oh,
They'll
he was
do it.
fine. He was totally fine."
Oh, they'll do it.
4 years.
Every single one of those women on The View will do it. Even Alyssa Farah will do it. They'll do it because they have extreme TDS, and they will absolutely go to bat for that dementia-ridden old fool who's sitting on that stage. He has no idea where he is half the time, and they'll still go to bat for him. It's unreal.
So lastly, there was a clip where they were asking about the criticism of Jill. So they asked Jill, you get criticized for keeping Joe in a cocoon, like that you basically sheltered him from the world. You know, like, what do you have to say for yourself? And You guys, like her answer, it makes no sense. She's like, well, that's just because nobody could see him.
What?
I mean, I'm obviously paraphrasing. Here it is.
You are your husband's fiercest advocate and a close advisor. And it's been reported that you created a sort of cocoon around him and kind of limited his interactions with the media and others. Do you think you could have been too close to the situation to objectively gauge whether he could handle a full 4 more years?
I was with Joe day and night. I saw him more than any other person. I woke up with him. I went to bed at night with him. So I saw him all throughout the day, and I did not create a cocoon around him. I mean, you saw him in the Oval Office. You saw him.
No, we never did. We never saw him.
He wasn't hiding somewhere. I didn't have him, you know, sequestered in some place. I mean, that's
Wish she had.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God.
We never saw him. We never ever saw him.
That's her defense. Did you keep him in a cocoon? I was with him 24/7. Okay, so you're saying yes?
Right. What? I mean, it wasn't a physical cocoon. I mean, I didn't build a physical cocoon, but I was just with him all the time, and I kept him from view of the public with me. But it wasn't a cocoon.
Oh my God! Both
Build
of
an
them
apparatus. Yeah, they're whack. Completely whack.
So whack. Oh my God. So obviously we have to talk about Scott Jennings, who after this debacle of an interview, Ana Navarro was on the panel with him.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. He and I think it was Ben Ferguson was the other conservative. They literally doubled over laughing at Ana Navarro trying to defend Biden, saying he rarely lied.
Oh my God.
This is the great thing about this guy.
Okay.
And he told her point
Well,
blank,
we asked
no
him.
daylight.
We asked him directly today.
All right.
Did you tell her
You think
that?
he's ever told a lie?
I don't think he tells many lies.
decline, I can tell you that much.
I don't think he tells many lies. I don't think he's
Come
done a
on.
Wait.
Lord,
No,
mercy.
you know why you don't get to laugh like that? Because you support a guy who lies every freaking day and lies continuously. You support a guy who cannot support.
It is. It's tragic.
It is
what she just
tragic.
said.
She's not used to that. She's used to being on a panel with a bunch of women who just like, it's like, you go girl. It's that all day, you know? And then she gets into a situation where there's Scott Jennings and she's, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? You know, she's not used to that because
He rarely lied, you guys. He rarely lied.
No. Well, I mean, he had no idea where he was.
Okay, so for my Pillow Talks today, we're actually starting with another Kennedy clip, which I know is not your traditional talk, but this one is not political. And that's why I wanted to share it, because it's just Kennedy being so Kennedy, talking about wanting to follow Jesus.
I don't hate anybody. I don't. I look for grace wherever I can find it. And when I say my prayers, one of the things I ask my Maker for is, please God, don't let me hate, because sometimes it's hard here in Washington. You know, there have been many a morning when I've gotten up in my overpriced Capitol Hill apartment, and I'm walking over here to the Capitol, and I give myself a pep talk. I talk to myself. I say, Kennedy, today you're going to follow Jesus. And by 10 o'clock, I still want to follow Jesus, but I also want to slap the hell out of somebody.
Now, I know. I totally understand that. It's like I feel him on that, because like most days I'm like, I love Jesus, but I also want to throat punch people, you know?
Right.
That's literally
I feel
me.
like these things can coexist.
That's me on a daily basis. So much throat punching, wanting.
All right, I have like a total smorgasbord of babies, because you know how much I love the people that are using AI to create baby versions of adults.
It's everywhere. I can't either. It's everywhere. And now it's like constantly in my algorithm, and I'm here for it.
Right? It's just the best.
Yes.
So we're going to start out with Judge Judy version.
Okay.
Because if you were a good tenant, paid your rent, didn't cause any difficulty.
I did pay my rent.
Just a second. No, you didn't pay your
Yes,
rent.
I did.
You only paid, you lived there 2.5 months, and
I
you
paid her
only paid 1 month's
Yes.
rent.
When I first moved in July, it was under the impression that she wanted to go through a Section 8 program. I'm not sure if you're aware of how the Section 8 program works.
Listen to me.
But
I
paid my rent.
practically wrote the Section 8 program. I know.
I can't. These are the greatest things. Like, oh my God, he just drank water, you guys. He just drank water.
What does that mean?
That means that it is all over me. It's like, I don't know. You can't see it, but I am drenched in water. Coda, you're welcome. He's like, you're welcome, Mom. Gross.
Oh my
It's gross,
gosh.
dude. It's gross. Nobody wants that. Those
Anyway,
babies.
so that's the first one, but we also have Baby Trump.
Oh my God, a baby Trump.
This is my favorite. Oh my God, here it is.
That is powerful. Very strong. I had 3 cookies for lunch. Mom said no, but I said executive order, and I ate them anyway.
I can't. It's just, he ate him anyway, you guys.
I said executive order, Mom.
Executive order, Mom.
I just can't.
So
And
great.
then there was another one with Theo Vaughn. Which
Oh my gosh, with the
Theo
little
one.
mullet. He has like a tiny little mullet. This is the greatest.
Love the Theo Vaughn one. This is about dogs.
Hey, that's when you feel God working. When you pet a dog, a strange dog, a miscellaneous dog, baby. And it lets you keep petting. Mm.
I can't.
Oh, make you want to kick a fat kid at Kmart. You know what I'm saying? Praise God, baby.
Praise God, baby. Praise God. I love him.
Oh my God.
I love
that
baby
was-
Theo. Baby Theo Vaughn is the greatest baby.
That was the greatest thing I have ever seen. Okay, but also we are going to finish it out with one of my favorites on Instagram Reels, and that is Amelia Sampson talking once again about cute creatures, this one being birds and how they are named.
And made aware of my dream job, naming birds. Because what do you mean this is called a great tit? A great go-away bird? Same, queen. You're so real for that. Okay, this one's called a boostard, and I wanted to see more pictures of them because look at how absolutely ridiculous this old man is. Have you ever seen anybody look more proud in your life? And apparently the males eat poison to look sexier for the ladies.
Wow.
Okay. The females are like, you know what would make you sexier? If you couldn't talk. Just kidding. Apparently they do this because it kills pests. So tell that at your next party. A banana quit? I'm still working on ways to work this into my everyday vocabulary. Like, I want to banana quit my job and name birds for a living.
Yes.
Do you see the vision? The tit tyrant? That's what they called me in college. Fluffy backed tit babbler. The horned screamer. I love her. Here's a visual representation of both the horn and the scream.
That's what they called me in college, was the horn screamer.
Oh my God. I
Right.
can't. It's too much. I love her. Love it.
So
Love
good.
it. We have some people to thank. Yesterday, Carmen Perez Seamson said, I went to Ireland, Scotland last year on American. No issues. Everyone was so nice and accommodating. Went to Scotland last month, flew Delta. We got to the airport 2 hours early. This one continues. We were denied boarding as we needed to be there 3 hours before. Screwed up all of our connections. 3 days later, we caught up to our group in Scotland. That sucks. I mean, let's face it. Every single person has had an issue with every single airline at one point or another.
Yep. American can suck it. They can suck a bowl. All the bowls.
All the bowls, for real. This one came through oddly, but Stephanie Levy sent money in honor of her 46th birthday, which was yesterday. She said, "Thank you, chicks, for keeping me in the know and keep the giggles coming. Take my money."
Happy birthday.
And Shelly Bolton said, "Shit to say from yesterday. Love the video from Colombia with people like, oh crap, now we're stuck in here with an alarm blaring. LOL. Also, Congress people that can't speak English, WTF. And apparently it takes less than 30 seconds to filibuster now. LOL." Shannon Mays said, happy Mother's Day weekend to you beautiful ladies. I get to spend my weekend watching my oldest son graduate from college and my youngest play travel baseball. God has truly blessed me.
That is a blessing. Happy Mother's Day to you, Shannon.
That is awesome. And then I think today we just got... Okay, so that was Shannon. And then today, Carrie Heath said, good morning, chicks. Please join me in congratulating my daughter, Bridget, who finished her volleyball season last night with an awesome performance in the semifinals. They were missing 3 players and still held their own until the bitter end against the number 1 seed.
You go, girls.
That's awesome. Suzette Paramore said, I watched your interview with Tim Burchett. It was so good. He was off the chain. Oh my God. Right?
Complete chaos, and we loved it.
So great. Kelly Basoko said Joe Biden should have sheets made by Mike Lindell. Mike was so outspoken about the election steal in 2020. That is just a glorious thought to get me through the weekend. Have a lovely Mother's Day, chicks, and all the chicks in the audience.
Happy Mother's Day. They should have My Pillow in the White House.
They should.
Like every single bed in the White House should have My Pillow pillows, and they should, you know?
Over on Locals, Audrey Krause 5 said, it is so infuriating that Biden insults half the country saying that Kamala didn't win because of her being a biracial woman. He just really annoys the crap out of me. Then Dr. Jill having to jump in to answer for Dementia Joe. Those harpies on The View are just disgusting.
Yeah.
Roth Lady Wright says, I am one with Kennedy. I am constantly saying, sorry, God, after cussing someone out in my car or picturing myself throat punching some heifer Karen in the throat. So sorry, God, but that bitch deserved it. I just can't help myself. Make me a better person. Make people smarter.
Every day. This is my struggle every day. It's real. The struggle is real.
It is real. All right, now you.
All right, Rachel Gerhardt. New Pope is a continuation of old Pope, but worse. Leo Zagami explains his background. I just pray God can change his heart and do something amazing. Yikes.
I mean, but do we know for sure? There's a lot of chitter chatter, but like, I'm just holding on to what Knowles said, which is that even a liberal pope is more conservative than a whole bunch of conservatives bitching about a liberal pope.
Yeah, but he's the Pope.
Fair.
I feel like that's kind of a low bar. He's the freaking Pope. Anyway, Jamie Hill, happy Mother's Day to our chicks and all the chicks watching. Love our community. We do too. Best community ever. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Randy Craig, Biden is president. Total elder abuse. Yes. Jill, is guilty of that. Totally.
God, she's awful.
The worst. The absolute worst. Becky Anderson, happy Mother's Day, chicks and community. Love watching every day. My daily dose of sanity. Thank you, Becky, and happy Mother's Day to you. Curio23. Trump has to name Sleepy Joe so often to list the un-effing he is doing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Uh-huh. Jennifer, no, love ya. We love you, Jennifer. Stroke, Jennifer. We are thinking about you. We love you. Everybody's lifting you up in prayer still. Teresa Raimundo, thanks, chicks on the right. I appreciate you watching The View so I don't have to. The nausea can be too much. I had tooth extraction recently, and that was better than any moment spent watching The View. I need pain meds for those 5 hags. So true. Thank you, Teresa. Don Quixote, there's a fish called a boops boops. Look it up. There is not. We got to do that. We're going to fact check on that
Get
one.
to name things. I want to name things.
You name it a boops boops. Uh-huh.
I might.
Yeah, I know. I could see you doing that. Jose Rodriguez, morning from Texas. Happy Mother's Day to you both. Here's some Prosecco or Mocha money. Have a drink on me and enjoy your day. Just take my mother money. Thank you, Jose. Brian Brumley, happy Mother's Day. That's all I've got. Take my money. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Felipe Move. Hi, ladies. Dementia Joe is a great new name for Crooked Joe. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you, Felipe. You guys. We hope everybody has a wonderful Mother's Day. We're bringing it in. Oh, is that it?
Yes. Well, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to one of our audience members who I met last night. And hello to Anne and her husband, Dennis. They were precious. And so I just wanted to
Anne. I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you. I left a few first. I didn't get to meet you. Everybody have the most magnificent Mother's Day. I hope everybody gets spoiled. Mothers, stepmothers, mom figures, grandmas, everybody. I hope you get spoiled rotten this weekend. And we will talk to you on Monday. Bye. Hey, guys.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.
No.